welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL, and we're going to try another pattern here today. I've got my template all set up, ready to go. Let's see. This is pattern 109456 on friendshipbracelets.net. I am going to just copy some of the pattern itself and then paste that into our template area. We can take the layer and transform it by rotating it clockwise. And then, not sure, scale tools. That's what we want. We're gonna enlarge it like that. And then we can use our little move tool, kind of slip it over to the side. And we now have to anchor the floating layer. Yeah, we got little bits of the other stuff with it. So no matter where we choose to put as our center, we're going to have to move our center guideline here, because you can see it doesn't seem, normally my center guideline is for when there's one knot right smack in the middle, but the middle of this pattern is like one higher. So we can either go one higher or one lower. I'm going to go one higher. Right there. And oh, see, good thing I zoomed in. To get it to really look nice, you really want to have that centered properly. So there we go. That's an interesting color, but it's really close to what our template is. I think it's just going to make it harder for me to work with. Let's, sure, I like red, why not? Okay, so there's a diamond of white right in the center, and then just outside of it here it gets all boxed in, right? And then here, let's move our pasted layer right on that line so we can kind of get a better feel for it. Back to the layer we're working on. So it looks like there's, whoops, I need to go back to the paint bucket. This comes out this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 that way. Down here it comes out to the edge and back. That gives us our 2 squares there. And this continues forward like that. And then this is here like this. So we can map out the other side, just sort of put it in there, just to kind of make sure that it looks and feels sort of the same. So that's our first one. The next one starts immediately after, which is kind of interesting. I suppose it makes sense because it's probably an equal number of lights and dark strings. So that's first part, and then this comes out and back. There's our 2 down here. And then this comes back in. And hang on, let's move this piece up so we can see what we're doing. Alright, back to our paint bucket. So after this center part here, this, whoa, I didn't go back to the right layer. There we go. This part comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the side that makes that. Okay. So there's not much more space to work with here. So this is going to be a partial. Okay, so that's how the top is going to look. So it starts out with just a little tiny bit that's not much of anything, and then it'll repeat 3 times, and then it'll be back to that little spot again. So now we can take our layer that we brought over from the other side, and we can work out this. So, and like I said, I'm pretty sure this is just even number of reds and whites. So it's just going to be a question of how it all works out. Yeah, that's definitely going that way. I'm going to say this is a red. And that makes up for that. And then up there, perhaps? Although it's possible, maybe we could do this with only 2 reds. Now we'll see. It really does look like it could be done with only 2. We can throw the 3rd one in just to make it an even number of skeins of plus. It basically, it'll just hide on the outside. We can use it to exchange because these get used an awful lot. But yeah, look at that. It really does work with just 2 strings. So let's see how that 3rd one can play. So it could come in exchange there, and that goes to the outside. In exchange with this one here, stays to the outside. This is kind of funny. We can make it exchange at, various points. There, that's it. So I only filled in the top right side because we can copy and paste that part in, and to make it also easier, we can take and select by color. So all the string that's left that we haven't colored in, we can color that something. Let's make it close to white, but not quite. And then go back to our paint tool and fill whole selection. That'll let us color that all in. Control A will stop it from being selected on that. And then we can get our select tool and copy this upper right hand side, the side that we filled everything in with. Control C, Control V, which is copy and paste. Use our flip tool, and now it's over on the left hand side as well. We can now take that layer, it's a floating layer. We anchor it and then merge it down. This is a new thing for this software where it's trying to put whatever kind of pasted layers to their own thing in case you need to do an edit or undo something later on, but it's just a little bit extra work now, it feels like, instead of really doing anything helpful, at least for what I do. All right, Control C, Control V, and now we flip off the horizontal line to get the other half of our bracelet. And again, with the layer, anchor the floating layer and merging it down. Now, I want my pencil tool and the white, because we took out a row, we can take out that little bit that is left at the bottom. And there is our pattern. I think this is going to be a little bit challenging, to be honest. There's obviously some zigzags going on here and there. Not a lot, but enough to kind of keep me on my toes and stuff. And it's a really potentially good looking bracelet. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with these colors or maybe something else, but we'll get to that tomorrow, and I'll let you know all about it in tomorrow's video. Thank you to my YouTube members who make all this stuff possible. It's their contributions that help pay for the string and the whole setup around here and everything. So thank you guys so much for all that. And yeah, thank you for hanging out this long. I do appreciate it. People who watched all the way through definitely helped make the channel a better place. So thank you guys very much for that. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.